The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for this 24th day of January, 2024. 2424. How about that? Today, we go back to Saturday, April 16th, 1988, to play a game between the Atlanta Braves and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Lots are expected, or is expected, of the Dodgers in this 1988 season. Of course, in real life, they win the World Series. So, the Dodgers kind of have a reputation to uphold here. Can they win the National League West? Today, they should have a pretty easy game of it, but you never know as they face the Atlanta Braves. And Rick Mailer. The Braves aren't very good. They only win 54 games in real life. They're 3-6 coming into this one. We know we have Braves fans that watch. Wasn't that great of a choice on a Saturday for games that were played. So it's the Braves and the Dodgers. Tim Belcher and Rick Mailer next. As Retro Sports Network presents MLB Replay 1988. Today, from Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California, it's the LA Dodgers and the Atlanta Braves. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. And hold on a sec. There. You want to see the game? Not me. Good morning, Bernie. How are you? So again, Rick Mailer and Tim Belcher on a sunny day in LA. Gosh, that's a shock, isn't it? Belcher has only played in one game. It was out of the pen. This is the first of his 27 starts on the year, and he'd be one of the big reasons why they would win the World Series. I am doing fine, thanks. Hope you are well. You said you are. So his one appearance coming in was 11 days ago against San Francisco in a 9-2 thrashing by the Giants. He went 3 innings, scoreless, allowed 1 hit on 57 pitches, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Tim is 27. Midlife crisis. How are you? 36 months. My goodness. He allowed a hit, he walked 2, and struck out 5. And so here's a lineup Belcher will face. Royal Albert Hall in center field. He's the one that got to replace Brett Butler. He'll lead off. Damaso Garcia was with the Braves. Really? He'll bat second and play second. Dion James in left will bat third. Dale Murphy in right will clean up. Gerald, now you're broke. Oh dear, you're a 27-month streak. Congratulations. Gerald Perry at first will bat fifth. Andres Thomas at short will go sixth. Ken Oberkfell at third will bat seventh. This is America's team, by the way. Bruce Benedict behind the plate bats eighth, and Rick Mailer at 35 years old will bat ninth on the mound. Well, you get what you pay for. Well, I shouldn't have made you broke, though. That's not what we're supposed to be doing here. Belcher should go about, 7 plus. If all goes well. Defensively for the Dodgers, Kirk Gibson a 5 and a 3 in left. John Shelby a 5 and a 5 in center. Davis a 3 and an 8 in right. Pedro Guerrero a 3 at third, and he's awful. Alfredo Griffin a 7 at short. Steve Sachs is a 4 at second. Keith Olbermann's bomb is well padded above the first base dugout. Mike Marshall a 2 at first. This defense is horrific. Mike Scioscia is a 9 and a 6 behind the plate. And Belcher a 7 on the mound with a 1,000 fielding percentage. Oh no! Hopefully you are feeling okay with your COVID diagnosis. So Guerrero and Marshall come in for the bunt. Hall at 357, no homers and an RBI. Belcher starts this one, a ground ball to Marshall, and Mike will just, go back to the bag to get Hall there, one away. 71 degrees, not a cloud in the sky, winds are calm. Sniffles and sneezing, but you can't work. I'm assuming that you deliver food, just from the conversations that we've had. Damaso Garcia wishes he could deliver food. It would be more successful in his start to the season. He's 1 for 38 with a double and 9 strikeouts. That's an 0.26 average. You're not even hitting a toddler's weight with that. Belcher winds and fires. Ground ball to Marshall. To the bag. 2 out. John has to settle for playing action PC baseball, playing on his PS5, and listening to me. I don't read bedtime stories. Deion James is at 258 with an RBI. Belcher winds and fires, and James strikes out. So Belcher chases gets him to chase an 0-2 fastball for strike 3. Braves go in order. Half an inning in the books. Rick Mailer, the Braves ace, coming out to pitch, no score. So Rick, it's not a very flattering picture of Rick. I would say that's a Fleer card. 35 years old, fastball at 82 and a ground ball pitcher. Doesn't deliver food, but you are in the service business. Ote. Third start for Rick. He faced the Dodgers in Atlanta 5 or 6 days ago in a 7-2 loss. Went 7 innings, 93 pitches, 9 hits. He got Christmas treat. In fact, in both of his starts, once against the Cubs and once against the Dodgers, 6 runs all earned, a walk and 3 strikeouts. It's like symmetry, man. 12 innings for Rick, 19 pitches, 12 runs all earned. He's walked 2 and struck out 6. 0-2 with a 9 ERA. Which means he's throwing the no-hitter, right? Steve Sachs will lead off as we set the Dodger offense for you. Alfredo Griffin at short will bat second. Kirk Gibson, the man, the myth, the legend, and left will go third. Pedro Guerrero, who only played 59 games for the Dodgers in 88, will play third and clean up. Mike Marshall at first will bat fifth. Mike Davis in right will go sixth. John Shelby in center will hit seventh. Mike Scioscia behind the plate batting eighth, and Belcher, not a good hitter at all, will pitch and bat ninth. Mailer technically can go the distance. Whether the numbers bear that out's another story, but pitch count-wise, he can go all 9. Deion James is a 3 and a 3 and left as we set the Brave defense for you. Albert Hall is 6 and a 9 in center, and Dale Murphy, one of the better ones in the business, a 7 and a 9 in right. Ken Obergfell is a 5 at third. Thomas a 6 at short. Garcia over from the Jays is a 6 at second, and Gerald Perry is 7 at first. It's amazing. When this team goes to the World Series in 91, I don't know if Benedict's there, but no one else is. Maybe Obergfell. Benedict a 5 and a 7 behind the plate, and Rick Mailer is a 7 on the mound with a .956 fielding percentage. Steve Sachs steps in at 326 on the young year and 3 RBI. Game 10 for Atlanta and game 11 for the Dodgers. In the left field, James over in the corner, and somebody from Long Beach will make that play, and the count is 2-2. So Mailer, again, that's just a terrible picture of him. Pitches, and there's a base hit laced into left center field. James will pick it up. And Sachs, is he going to go for 2? He is. The throw to Garcia, and Steve is in there with his 4th double. Not much of an extra base hitter, a singles hitter for sure with good speed. Brings up Griffin. He's going to bunt here. 250 and 3 RBI. A 21% chance of a run. with an on-base percentage of 277. We're squaring. Drops one down. Rick's got it. Throws to Garcia, covering the bag. And Sachs goes to third, one out. So here's Kirk Gibson hitting .308. 2 homers and 8 RBI on the young year. Mailer from the stretch, right back up the box. Sachs will hold to throw to Perry for the out. 2 away for Guerrero. Pedro, .294, 2 homers and 10 RBI. With apologies to Billy Wagner, I think that the Hall of Fame voters did a good job this year. Adrian Beltre, Todd Helton, and Joe Mauer to join Jimmy Leland. Pitch to Guerrero. Sachs edges down the line. Base hit left field, and the Dodgers lead at 1-0. Mike Marshall hitting .250, 2 homers and 7 RBI. Just looking at this Dodger team, and of course being on the East Coast and all that, not really catching them all that much, they just seem very consistent. Double-digit home runs, solid batting averages. They kind of drove each other all in. Pitch to Marshall. There's a ground ball left side, base hit. So Guerrero will hold in second. I'd imagine James does not have a good arm. He's going for third. I lied. And he'll be in there without a throw. So runners on the corners, 2 out for Mike Davis. In limited duty, 6 for 32, 188 with an RBI. He's got a chance here for 1. Dodgers already up 1-0 here in the first. Mailer's pitch. Laced to right, but right at Dale Murphy. And that'll take care of the side. Dodgers do get 3 hits and score a run. After 1, they strand 2, but lead 1-0. So here is Murph. Wasn't 88 the year that he was the spokesman for Donruss? Murphy at .265, 2 homers and 5 RBI. Belcher deals, and that's laced all the way down the corner and left. Gibson's going to have to go get it. Murphy is going to have to. Guerrero dove and should have had it, and Murph is into second with his second double of the year. Dodger baseball and Farmer John. Go to Safeway, Ralph's, and Vaughn's to get your Dodger dog if you're not at the stadium. Here's Gerald Perry, .313, a homer and 5 RBI. Belcher's pitch into left center. That was the first hit for Atlanta, by the way. Shelby's there. Makes the catch. Murph back to the bag and will hold. The cat protesting outside my door. 1 out. For Andres Thomas, .229, a home run and 4 RBI. In the left, Gibson in the corner. Kirk parks the C's. Does he make the catch? He does! The C's part, Gibson makes the catch, and Murphy scampers back to second, 2 out. Brings up Oberkfell. Can at .241 and 1 RBI. Good morning, Scotty. Scotty's excited. It's like Christmas when the Dodgers are on for him. To third, Guerrero over to Marshall for the out. So the Braves get a hit, and that's it. They leave a runner on after an inning and a half. 1-0 Dodgers. And hopefully John is doing fine. Speaking of John, it'll be John, Shelby, Sosha, and Belcher here in the second. John hitting .351, a home run and 3 RBI. Struck him out first for Mailer. Got him to chase an 0-2 fastball. So here's Sosha, .233, a home run, and 6 RBI. Ground ball to third, Oberkfell to Perry. 2 out. So here's Belcher, 071, a home run and three RBI. It's always Christmas for Dodger fans. Found James Paxton under the tree yesterday. The Dodgers have approached me, of course, but I turned them down. They were going to store me in that Union 76 station out in the parking lot in center field. I said, no, thank you. Pitch to Belcher in the right field. Murphy moving over in the alley, and he will make the catch to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the third here at Dodger Stadium. 1-0 L.A. So it'll be Benedict, Mailer, and Hall to face Belcher here in the third. I tried to find that LA lifestyle be right up my alley. Neither one of us drive. Benedict 2 for 15, by the way, 133 and 2 RBI. When we did that Dodger Giant playoff a few weeks ago, I really wanted to find a Giant hat and then wear it on camera and do Scully's "It's time for Dodger baseball." I would have thought that was funny. That's just the kind of idiot I am. Pitch to Benedict. Struck him out. That's 2 for Belcher. He chased a 1-2 fastball, 1 out. Now I'll bring up Rick Mailer. He's 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. 125 hitter in real life. Belcher winds and deals. Ground ball to Marshall. Mike to the bag. And 2 away. So opening 9 for Belcher. 36 pitches, 2 2/3 the hit, and 2 strikeouts. Albert Hall is 0 for 1. I am right, Jamie, that the difference between this Atlanta team in '88 and what went to the World Series in '91, the only one I could think of that might be there is Obergefell. I think everyone else is gone. Murph was in Philly. Pitched to Hall. Popped up. Left side. Griffin. And on a sunny day, that's a rainmaker. No runs, no hits, no errors. Bottom of the third here at Dodger Stadium. 1-0 L.A. So top of the lineup, Sachs, Griffin, and Gibson. Mailer opening 9, 35 pitches, 2 innings, 3 hits and a strikeout, and the run is earned. Although it's dropped his ERA to 8.36. Sachs doubled and scored in the first. They play for the bunt. He swings, and that's past Garcia into center field. Thomas should have made the play. He didn't, and that's the 4th Dodger hit. First poor play for Thomas. Looks like that picture was taken at Dodger Stadium. Here's Griffin. Alfredo sacrifices first time up. And that is a base hit in the left center field. James will pick it up. And Sachs will go to third on the poor play. So Atlanta, their defense not covering themselves in clover so far. Dion's only played 3 games now and left. So runners on the corners, nobody out for Kirk Gibson. So Mailer goes from the frying pan right into the fire here with nobody out in the third. Gibson swings a ground ball to Garcia. That will score Sachs. Thomas for 1, and he will not throw to Perry. So Sachs will score. It's 2-0 L.A., and there's 1 out. For Guerrero, who had an RBI single in the first. So Gibby on first. Mailer throws to first. And Gibson is back. Into left field. Back goes James. That will stay in the yard. It's a big old ballpark. And Dion makes the catch. So 2 out for Mike Marshall, who singled his first time up. Of course, yesterday, thanks to Scotty, we found out that longtime friend of the community, Mike McAllister, passed away before Christmas. Mike, who was a regular in our streams and chats, especially Al Red Sox fan, lost his battle with heart disease, and he will be very sorely missed. Mike Marshall, by the way, singled his first time up, and I'm being told that it was Ron Gant, Jeff Blaze, and Rick Mailer. Mailer returned after a stint with, or Blauser. Okay, that makes more sense. Mailer returned after a stint with the Reds in a midseason trade with Montreal. He pulled to Pete Rose. Pitch to Marshall. There's a ground ball to first. Perry won't be able to play it, and Marshall is on with an error. So Perry, his second error at first base already on the year. That's not very good, although 988, well, it's not a great fielding percentage for a first baseman. 2 out for Davis, who's 0 for 1. Runners on first and second. Ground ball to Garcia. Goes to Thomas for the easy out, and the Dodgers will strand a couple. They do, however, get 2 hits in a run, and the error does kind of hurt. And after 3, it's the Dodgers 2, the Braves nothing. So Garcia, James, and Murph to face Belcher here in the 4th. Garcia 0 for 1. Belcher starts the 4th. Popped up right side. Davis and Marshall. Marshall goes out, makes the catch. 1 away for Dion James, who struck out his first time up. Belcher has fanned 2 through 3 1/3. Right back to Tim, off the mound, throws to first. Sachs is covering, 2 away. That was a bunt. So here's Murphy, 1 for 2. Mike was a good guy, Scotty says. The afternoon I spent rolling Appa baseball with him was full of stories and laughter. I bet. Oh, I bet. Lonnie Smith, okay. He seemed like a good guy. I don't remember him not being ill. But I'm glad you had the chance to spend some time with him. He really, really did care about the community and being part of it. Pitch to Murphy. Ground ball to Marshall. Underhands it to Belcher, and that will retire the side. After 3 1/2 here at Dodger Stadium, no runs, no hits, no errors. It's LA 2, the Braves nothing. I'm trying to take a drink. Ugh. So the standings in the National League East, the Pirates and the Mets are both 6 3, and everyone else is 2 games back. In the West, what a start for the Reds. The Giants and Dodgers 3 back. Atlanta 5 1/2. In the East, the Yankees a half game over Cleveland. Everyone's within 5. Red Sox are playing a bit better. By the way, the Dodgers had won 5 straight coming into this. And in the American League West is Kansas City, a game and a half over Oakland. And everyone just kind of jumbled together as far as National League team stats. The Giants are hitting .265. The Reds' ERA is under 2. And the Cubs and Expos have the best gloves. So just remember that when you go get the isotoners. So here's John Shelby. He struck out his first time up. Both of the Dodger runs are earned. And still, Mailer's ERA is down to 8.40. Pitch to Shelby, who's 0 for 1. Into shallow left center. Hall rides a Schwinn, 1 out. He really had to hustle on that. Brings up Sosha, who's 0 for 1. Funny, because as far as the Braves who are on that championship team that are playing in 88, the only one in this game is Rick Mailer. Sosha, ground ball to Garcia, and he's about to be 0 for 2. Two away for Belcher. 0 for 1 in his first at bat of the year. In the center, Hall doesn't even really have to move all that much. Puts up the glove, and that will retire the side. Dodgers go in order in the fourth. No runs, no hits, no errors. And after 4, it's 2-0 Dodgers. So Perry, Thomas, and Oberkfell in the fifth to face Belcher, who's throwing a gem right now. A baseball for you tomorrow. And then Friday, we're going to take some Fast Drive football for a live spin and pre-play both the conference championship games. So the Lions and the 49ers, along with the Chiefs and the Ravens. And no, Taylor Swift is not about to stop by. Pitch to Perry. Ground ball to Sack. Steve has it behind the bag. Over to first. 1 out. Here's Thomas. Andres is 0 for 1. Belcher deals. There's a ground ball to third. Guerrero over to Marshall. And boy, is Belcher on his horse today, huh? Just 52 pitches with 2 out here in the fifth. Here's Oberkfell, who's 0 for 1. Belcher got 4 saves for the Dodgers. I'd imagine that was either really early in the season or down the stretch. Pitch to Oberkfell. Fly ball left field. Gibson coming in and will make the catch to retire the side halfway home on a gorgeous day in L.A. The Dodgers 2, the Braves nothing. Joined us late. Here's how he got here. Pedro Guerrero, an RBI single in the first to score Steve Sachs. 1-0 Dodgers. How you doing, Big Dave? In the third, they got an insurance run on a fielder's choice by Kirk Gibson. They lead 2-0. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. While Tim Belcher has held the Braves to 1 hit. Belcher has struck out 2 through 5. Baylor, 5 hits, 4 innings, 2 runs, both earned, and a strikeout. Both of the runs are earned. One of the things that John likes about the pop-up cards, after a defensive play, I like to quickly peek at the run save stat to get an idea of how good or bad the player has been in my replay. I like him. I like him in the hockey game, too. Always interesting to see what a save percentage might be or how many minutes a game that you should be playing a player and all that. Sachs has had himself a good day. A single, a double, and a score twice. He's 2 for 2. Right back up the box, Garcia over to Perry. 1 out. So, Scotty, did you ever live in Southern California? Here's Alfredo Griffin. Alfredo singled his first time up. In the left center, Hall moving over. 2 out. Miller not pitching bad. Here's Gibby. He's got himself an RBI in the fielder's choice, and he's 0 for 2. Mailer, 75 degrees right now. The Chamber of Commerce has blessed Southern California with one of those days that makes you want to leave the East Coast. Struck him out. So Gibby goes down. He chased a 1-2 fastball. After 5, no runs, no hits, no errors. Dodgers 2, Braves nothing. So Benedict, Mailer, and Hall to face Belcher here in the 6th. Bruce struck out his first time up. Belcher starts the frame, a ground ball to Griffin. Alfredo throws to first. 1 out. And that'll bring up Mailer. Rick is 0 for 1. Not a situation where he can bunt. Ground ball to first. Marshall. 2 away. Brings up Hall, who's 0 for 2. Belcher, 18 batters, 57 pitches, 5 2/3, a hit, and 2 strikeouts. Struck him out. Belcher got him to chase a 1-2 curve, and after 5 1/2, it's the Dodgers 2, the Braves nothing. So Guerrero, Marshall, and Davis. It was nice to see, by the way, the voters not using Joe Mauer's years as an average first baseman count against him. Probably the best pure offensive catcher since Mike Piazza. And I think if you go to what does a player mean to the respective franchise, what Mauer meant to the Twins and what Todd Helton meant to the Rockies really can't be measured. There's no win shares or WAR or OPS plus for that. Guerrero 1 for 2. A single and an RBI. Only ever been to Southern California once, Scotty says. Took that trip. That included a game at Dodger Stadium the summer. You've been retired 10 years. Pro tip. The third base stands are in the shade for day games. Good to know. Who'd you see him play? Fly ball, left center, Hall coming in. Makes the catch for the out. There's lots of interesting things about Dodger Stadium. Mike Marshall, by the way, 1 for 2. But the way that it was designed, I mean, it looks kind of timeless. Is that it's all built in the terrace that was Chavez Ravine. Marshall 1 for 2. John going on about the Cards. Some guys like Davey Concepcion, for instance, he says may make his 12th error of the season on July 10th. But I'll see that he saved 7 runs. Yeah, I think it's a good one. I like the addition an awful lot. Pitch to Marshall. That's in the center field. Hall moving over, makes the catch, 2 out. Nice play. So that brings up Mike Davis, who's 0 for 2. Rights are left center field. Hall coming in, and that's a clean inning for Mailer. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 6, 2-0 Dodgers. John had a sneezing fit before he could extrapolate on his previous comment. That's okay. Once in a while, I kind of figure out what you guys are talking about. Go to the 7th. Dodgers 2, Braves nothing. So Garcia, James, and Murph to face Belcher here in the inning. Damaso is 0 for 2. Best known for his time with Toronto. Came up with the Yankees. Right center, Shelby. Steps on the gas, 1 out. There's Deion James. Deion is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And he first walked for the Braves. Not real speed there. Here's Murph, 1 for 2. Speaking of Hall of Famers, and you can get the argument that Murphy was like a Jim Rice, a 2 or 3 year peak where he just owned the National League. But you look at these numbers, 226, and you just kind of have to wonder. When Murph found a zenith, he just fell so fast. I didn't realize he had a year where he hit that poorly. I'm not sure, as one of Jim Rice's biggest defenders, if Murph should be in the Hall of Fame or not. Hall of Fame person for sure. But man, that valley, I mean the peaks were peaks, but the valley, ugh. In the left center, Shelby goes back, makes the catch, 2 out. That is true, of course, as with a lot of urban renewal projects, you went through the poorer neighborhoods of towns. In fact, the building I'm in now is in an urban renewal area, Little Italy. And they did that in the 60s here. And they finally took the last building lot in this century. So there were chunks of downtown Burlington that were empty for 40, 50 years. But yep, this was a Hispanic area of the city that was taken down to build O'Malley's Palace. Here's Gerald Perry, 0 for 2. Arguably, they were right that Wrigley Field was too small in L.A. I'm not sure if that could have been expanded. And, of course, the Coliseum just wasn't an option. Pitch to Perry. Ground ball to Griffin. Sacks for 1. And Perry's going to reach as the throw is... Oh, only needed 1. Haha. Stretch time, 2-0 Dodgers. It'll be Shelby, Sosa, and Belcher here in the 7th. Scotty went to, on Father's Day, a 6-3 loss to the Diamondbacks. Nice travel bag that you're still using in a Dodger dog. Midlife Crisis says, my youngest daughter is living in Old Kensington in Philly. I worked there 20 years ago when you didn't even want to drive through the neighborhood, let alone walk through it. Yeah, I mean, I can feel you. And Bernie says when they put in Harold Baines, it kind of opened the door for Murphy and Evans. And Billy Wagner's now at the, and Gary Sheffield are going to be at the discretion. Sheffield's at the discretion now of the Veterans Committee. I didn't have a problem with Baines. And I certainly don't have a problem with Dwight Evans. I think defense should be highly considered, and you don't get much better as a defensive right fielder than Evans. John Shelby, by the way, 0 for 2 with the strikeout. But then again, I am a Red Sox fan and do have some biases. I think there are other snubs that need... I think Keith Hernandez should be in the Hall. Popped up. Right side. Perry has it for the out. You can... If you put Mattingly in, I wouldn't be overly bothered by it. Here's Socha. He's 0 for 2. To Mailer. Third base side of the rubber. Throws to Perry for the out. We're going to have a quick stream today. This is flying. 2 out here in the 7th. 2-0 Dodgers. And here's Belcher, who's 0 for 2. I think, in the end, in regards to the Hall of Fame, I think having 75% of those who vote having to agree on something is a pretty high standard. If you want to argue, and I would be supportive in this argument of having, like the Veterans Committee, players, executives, and broadcasters join the writers. I mean, in this day and age, just having writers select the Hall is an anachronism. Then I would agree. You know, if you just did play-by-play broadcasters and to go along with that, just to open it up to other media besides print, that might be more relevant. Pitch to Belcher. Popped up left side. Obergfell. And Thomas, and Ken's there. After 7, no runs, no hits, no errors. It's the Dodgers 2, the Braves 1. But I honestly don't think you can really complain about Helton, Mauer, and Beltre. Really can't. Here's Thomas with Obergfell and Benedict to follow. Andres is 0 for 2. Belcher just kind of cruising here, a 1-hitter through 7. Belcher over to Marshall. 1 out. Obergefell is 0 for 2. Ground ball to Sachs over to Marshall, 2 out. On my personal Facebook page, which you can't see unless you're a friend of mine, I actually posted the building that was torn down to build the apartment complex I'm in now. And it was just one of those old-fashioned tenement houses with family housing, with railings and porches all the way through, and there was a store on the immediate corner. Benedict is 0 for 2 in the strikeout. My first apartment that wasn't in the dorm was in downtown Montpelier, our capital. Benedict, ground ball, right side, base hit. So only the second hit for the Braves, and see what they do with Mailer after I tell the story. Rick, by the way, is 0 for 2. They threw an elevator on to just a block. It's called the Blanchard block. Lived next to the fire station. That was pretty reassuring, to be honest. But you stepped off the elevator and into the main building itself, and it really just kind of, you open the door to go there, and it kind of looked like you had stepped into a Mickey Spillane novel. You know, hard-boiled 20s architecture with cold fluorescent lights. The building had a lot of character. In fact, as is the case in a lot of the smaller cities here in the Northeast, it was an opera house. I lived right off the stage, which was a solarium and was about 9,000 degrees year-round. Ted Simmons is going to pinch hit. Ted 0 for 5 on the year. 39 years. He's in the Hall, right? Runner on first is Benedict, and Simmons hits a ground ball to Sachs. Steve only has a play at first, and Simmons is retired. Benedict, well, it won't matter because that was 2 out. So Charlie Pulio coming in. Scotty says M's claiming Beltre is their latest Hall of Famer. His time in Seattle wasn't why he's in, kind of like Gaylord Perry. Griffey Jr. and Gar are the only real M's. Ichiro next, of course. And he's eligible in 25. Maybe Piniella? Wow, that's a good question, Scotty. He won his World Series with the Reds. I don't know. When you get a guy like Piniella or others that were played for or managed a lot of different teams, who would you get him? Anyway, Charlie Pulio coming in to pitch for the Braves. He's 33, fastball at 89. And a fly ball pitcher, making his third appearance of the year. Pitched last night in the Dodgers 4-3 win. It went 1 inning, 17 pitches, 3 hits, 2 runs, all earned. So overall for Charlie, 3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, and a strikeout. In real life, 5-5 with a save and a 3.47 ERA. So top of the lineup for the Dodgers here. Braves only have 2 hits. So Sachs, Griffin, and Gibson. Steve is 2 for 3. Single and a double. Lumber going as a red. Yeah, because I think he got them that World Series, but he was good for Seattle. Had fun in Tampa. I'm not sure he enjoyed it. And, of course, the Yankee fans will tell you that he should go in there as a player. That's where his best years were. Pitch to Sachs. There's a ground ball to Thomas. Throws to Perry for the out. Somebody asked me yesterday, Alfredo Griffin 1 for 2. We're talking about full season projects. I did that as a one-off. Whether because he thought I knew how to fill out a lineup, would I be a good major league manager? Maybe if the other team was being managed by someone that was incapacitated and drunk, but that would be about it. Pitch to Griffin, who's 1 for 2. Fly ball, right center field. Hall will come over and make the catch, 2 away. So here's Gibby. He's 0 for 3. RBI on a fielder's choice is 9th and a strikeout. Julio, quick inning, 2 outs here in the 8th. There's a fly ball right field. Here's Murph, and Dale will make the catch. We go to the 9th. I'm telling you, I've tried to stretch this out as long as I can go, but we got ourselves a well-pitched game by Tim Belcher. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the 9th here at Dodger Stadium, 2-0 LA. So Belcher, 27 batters, 88 pitches, 8 innings, 2 hits, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. The Braves, with their 2 hits, somehow need 2 to tie and 3 to go ahead. And Dave says the best part of the hockey game is the end. I would agree with that. So here's Albert Hall. Hall is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Ground ball to Marshall. Over to Belcher. 1 out. Here's Garcia. That stellar average has dropped to 0.24. There are states I don't even think that's illegal for a blood alcohol level. See if they pinch hit for him. He's 0 for 3 today. And Ken Griffey will pinch hit. Griffey Sr., 4 for 19 on the year. His first pinch hitting appearance. He does have a double. 38 years old. So Earl Weaver, friend umpire Jim Evans claimed he booted Earl between games of a doubleheader because he was drunk bringing out the lineup for game 2. Every once in a while, I'll pull out that rant that you see from Baltimore, that Earl, just in the umpire. And apparently, that was remember the old TV show PM Magazine or Evening Magazine, depending on what market you were in. And so that was supposed to be a profile of that particular umpire. And so that was the reason why he was mic'd up. And the cameraman, God bless him, just let that roll. One of the classic R-rated rants of all time. So 1 out. Belcher deals. And Griffey hits a ground ball third base side. Belcher over to first. 2 out. So last chance saloon for Deion James. He's 0 for 2. He's walked and struck out. The best part of the baseball game, Dave, is the beginning. I don't know if I've heard Elia's. Elia, of course, socked it to the Cubs fans. And that was, yeah, as he says, as that's what John says. You don't go after the fans. Earl, that was a stage show. A first inning balk, by the way. Speaking of which, if James is retired, this is the first game that we've had that we haven't had a balk. Yeah, it is on the tube, and they got him fired. Belcher winds and fires, ground ball to Sachs, and Tim Belcher has thrown a 2-hit shutout. So it's pretty obvious that the digitalized player of the game is going to be Dave Gardner. For Tim Belcher, 2 hours and 15 fake minutes. How about that? What an effort. 2 runs, 5 hits. Hit the wrong place. And no errors for the Dodgers. They leave on 4. The Braves are just held to 2 hits and an error. And they left on 3. Belcher, a 2-hitter to get his first win of the year. You're welcome, Bernie. A walk and 3 strikeouts. Rick Mailer pitched a good ball game. 5 hits through 7, 2 runs and 2 strikeouts. And Julio a clean 8th. But the Braves, I mean, that's what happens. Let's play two. I'm with you tomorrow. When did you test positive? The rest, by the way, of this Saturday. That's Dodger baseball. Scotty says, get those fans home early. They were leaving anyway. You can hit the bars before 4 o'clock. The rest of the Saturday in baseball, Texas beats the Red Sox 15-9. Mitch Williams gets the win 1-0. Oh, so you'll be here tomorrow. Ouch. Lee Smith takes a loss. He goes to 1-2. Steve Buechele, 2 for 3, his third of the year, and drives in 2. Mets beat the Cardinals 4-2 at Shea. Sid Fernandez 1-0. Joe McGrain 1-1. By the way, the Rangers walked 12 batters in that win, and the Red Sox still lost by 6. Ugh. Cardinals made 5 errors in that game. Mookie Wilson 2 for 4, a double and a stolen base. Jays beat the Twins 4-3 up in Toronto. Mike Eichhorn 1-0. Juan Berenguer 1-1. Kelly Gruber, his first of the year, 2 for 4 and 2 RBI. Royals beat the Tigers. Tigers fall to 4-5, 5-4. Charlie Leibrandt 2-1. Doyle Alexander 0-2. Gary Pettis 3 for 4, 2 RBI and a double. Pittsburgh beats the Cubs 7-3. Doug Drabeck goes to 3-0. Greg Maddux falls to 1-2. Leon Durham 2 for 3, his second of the year, and hits a double. The Brewers pound out 17 hits. They double up the Yankees 10-5. Chris Bosio goes to 2-0. Rick Rhoden falls to 0-1. Robin Yount 3 for 5, his second of the year, and drives in 3. Yeah, the logos look really sharp. They've done a really good job with that, Dave. John says, first mild, and I'm really reaching. Symptom was Saturday, but at my age, when don't I wake up with aches or pains? I asked my wife I should test every day then. I had a touch of a cold a few weeks ago and tested. There's still nothing better than getting, something stuck up your nose to start the day. Houston beats Cincinnati 3-2. First red loss in 8 games. Dave Smith gets the win, 1-0. Mario Soto has lost both of the games this year for Cincinnati. He's 0-2. Kevin Bass, 2 for 2, his third of the year, and drives in 2. Storm Davis shuts out the White Sox 8-0. He goes to 2-0. Melito Perez 1-1. Jose Canseco hits his second, goes 2 for 4. You're welcome, Big Dave. Belcher, the 2-hit shutout that you just saw. Philly 6, Montreal 4. Kevin Gross 1-2. Tim Burke 1-1. Phil Bradley 2 for 4, 2 RBI, and a triple. The Orioles, they're not going to do what they did in real life. They beat the Indians 6-1. They're now 3-8. Mike Morgan gets the win, 1-1. Craig Swindell 1-1. Mel Hall 2 for 4, his first of the year. Giants beat the Padres 4-3. Dave Dravecky 2-0. Eddie Whitson 0-2. And Brett Butler a triple and a stolen base. Last but not least, California 8-5 over Seattle. Frazier 1-0. Bill the Mariner Swift 0-1. Wally Joyner 3 for 4, his first of the year, and drives in 2. Tomorrow we will be in Oakland for the first appearance of the Oakland A's. In this replay, we stay on the coast. Angels and A's. It'll be Mike Witt and Bob Welch. And until then, I'm Ron Juckett. Thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you tomorrow for the A's and the Angels, and Friday for our Fast Drive Football pre-play of both conference championships. Have a good day, everybody. So long.